Good morning, this is Carolyn, and while digging around in that plethora of useless information that I have inside of my head, I found something that maybe you guys can find beneficial, or some of you could. While you're looking for maybe a part-time gig, something to do to make a little extra money, if you're like in my situation, you're up all night and you might as well be doing something to make some money, and you just keep seeing those ads about all these keyboard warriors that are dragging in thousands of dollars. Well, you know, but on the flip side of that, there are companies, they're not companies, they're actually individuals, usually in Lagos, Nigeria, that are pretending to be companies, and or India. But not always. They could be right here in this great country, the United States. Yeah, their part-time gig is trying to steal your identity. But you trust, right? Because maybe you desperately want a job. Maybe you just, oh, that bill you just saw, it's weighing heavy on your mind. Be mindful of what they're asking you. If you see a company, and sometimes if it seems too good to be true, I am so sorry. I hate to go around and take a pee on everybody's parade. A lot of times it is. And I told you, I confessed to seeing the phone actress thing on there, because I've done that before. And yeah, it's not glamorous, and it's not all that easy, but you can make a few bucks with a legitimate company. Only, I need to tell you, that is exactly where a person trying to steal information would be hiding. They're going to tell you, fine folks, you can make $1,000 a week. And you're saying, oh, that would make all the difference in the world. Well, then they proceed to ask you such things as your date of birth, which you can legitimize and say, okay, they need me to be over 21, which you probably are, or you might be. I don't know. Anyway, my point is, always enter a date that's slightly wrong or completely wrong. But the important thing is, enter the wrong date. They're good. If they ask your social security number, implying that they need to do a background check, ask yourself, background checks aren't typically free. Do they need your social security number before they even screen you to decide if you're one of the candidates? What I would prefer that you do, as opposed to saying, I'm not entering that information, or just proceed to put zeros, which I have done, put one in there that could be potentially real. Put a birth date that could be potentially real. Why, you may ask? Because if they're selling it, they're going to sell it as like they think they got one on the line. They're catfishing you in a sense. They have you on the line. They're going to sell that. Somebody's going to use it, and they're going to get caught because it's wrong. You see what I mean? It's wrong. The more times people get caught with the wrong ones, you're drawing attention to the problem without making it obvious. I have been putting a fake social security number in now probably for a good 30 years. I don't know. I guess I've always been a little tinfoil hat. Now I'm a whole lot tinfoil hat. And people don't get this way overnight. But it's not just those jobs, but do that with a lot of the jobs. If you feel like they're asking you questions they don't potentially need to know, asking you about your last employer, and may we call them, not so weird, but just keep your eyes and ears open. The more of us that are vigilant, I know they fully believe that the little people, the small people, we're just not smart enough to figure out what's going on. And anyway, there isn't a lot we can do, because we're probably, a lot of us, including myself, are broke. Maybe we don't have monetary ways to hire lawyers and things. Well, there are small ways we can be vigilant. And one thing is that just don't give out too much of your personal information. And how do we get this? How do we get this mistrusting? Well, here, let me slide right into one of the examples. That Katy Perry fiasco, that I supposedly Jeff Bezos is suing because somebody from the inside of that vessel attempted to open the door which if you were going up sincerely into outer space, you would not be able to push that door open. You guys, that was completely fake. It was. Look at some of the other ships that have returned from they come back scorched. The more important thing is not that we see that it was not real. Why are they doing this to us? We're already so mistrusting that if you tell us it's a bright sunny day, we're grabbing our umbrella as we go out the door. Was it to make these women that maybe haven't had a hit or been on the TV for a hot minute reveling again? And how selfish is that to drop this on the average person's head? I don't know. Am I overthinking it? Am I too angry? Hey, that's kind of why I embrace the off the grid thing, because I fully at the bottom of my heart believe, maybe it won't happen in my generation, maybe it will. Enough people are going to be tired of being taxed, lied to, games played with, 2031 boosters in your behind is something you don't even know what it is, appears to be making people sick. I don't know that. Please don't get mad at me for being suspect. People are going to say enough is enough. And I in no way believe that the oligarchy or the elites or whoever's pulling the strings want us to be anything but divided. Together is the only way we can overcome them. Oh my, aren't I on a soapbox for this early in the morning? But seriously, if we stop hating each other and examine fully why we're being told to hate each other and why the news keeps playing up two kids that got into a fight and unfortunately one unalived, and it is they make it a racial thing as opposed to just kids with too much testosterone and not enough parental guidance or common sense, which is probably what it boils down to. They want us to fight with each other. They want us to dislike each other because we are easier to overtake if we're not a big, strong, united team. I sincerely believe that. I'm sorry. You can say I drank the wrong Kool-Aid this morning, but it'll be the same one. And if you guys keep your eyes and ears open, you will realize they just keep leaning into the more ways we cannot trust our eyes or ears, and we cannot believe what the media is selling us. So be kind if you can to every person and try to understand they did not get where they are overnight. It was a progression. And maybe take the time to listen to their story. And don't be fooled. And many of the politicians, even the ones I love, and you guys know I am very red-pilled these days, but my eyes are open for both sides of it. You just don't go blindly into the night, okay? All right, enough said. Freaking it isn't even 7 o'clock in the morning to be this wound up. And I haven't even had coffee. Maybe that's the problem. All right, have a great day.